Your personal identity is what makes you who you are. But what is it that influences our identity? Is it our family, our friends, or is it a life-changing experience that shapes you into the person you are? This is the story of a man who unfortunately I never really had the chance to know, but his determination, perseverance, and luck has shaped me into the person I am today. He grew up in a time of hardship and uncertainty. The unfortunate series of events that would come in his late 20s is what taught him resilience, fearlessness, and to never give up. This is the story of my grandpa, Max Lumberg. My father, Max's son, always referred to his dad as Max. I never questioned why, it was just what he called him, so that's what I call him too. Max's story begins in January 1911. He was born in Warsaw, Poland. He enjoyed a regular childhood, going to school, playing games with his friends. Max was born into a family of two happily married parents and later a younger sister. His favourite pastime was going to the cinema, which later would prove to be a pivotal moment in his life. When Max was about 10 years old, he was diagnosed with appendicitis. His recovery was slow, but through this experience, he was so impressed by his doctor that this inspired him to want to help people too. Max began studying medicine in 1933, the exact same year Hitler was voted in as Chancellor of Germany. It took him 4 attempts at the entrance exam to get accepted. His determination and perseverance are what motivated him to keep trying. Max completed his final exam on the 31st of August 1939, one day before World War II would begin, one day before Max's life would change forever. To celebrate his graduation, Max did what he loved best. He went to the local cinema to watch Gone with the Wind. When the movie had finished, the world he had left just a few hours earlier had completely changed. Nothing would be the same again.
Max, don't you know?
Know what?
Haven't you heard?
Heard what?
The Germans are occupying a third of Poland.
Why?
Who knows why, Max? We've been invaded.
No, you can't be serious. I don't believe you.
Imagine finding out the place you lived your whole life was no longer safe. Imagine it being too late to leave and having to endure whatever lay ahead. All the Jews in Poland were forced to move into the Warsaw Ghetto. It was here that Max met my nana, Irena. The German officers had made it clear that doctors and their immediate family would be protected. Max and Nana were married the same day they met. Together they survived it all, living in terrible conditions, escaping the ghetto, living separately and hiding for 2 years, being reunited, and then transported to the concentration camp Bergen-Belsen. Max was the camp physician for the 2 years he was there. On the 13th of April 1945, they were liberated by the American Army, only a few hours before they were to be exterminated in gas chambers.
When I saw the tank, I immediately had a feeling that I am safe. I knew that was the end of all suffering.
Several years after the war had finished, Max and Nana migrated to Australia. Max's sister and himself were the only 2 survivors from their family, and my Nana was the only person from hers. Once in Australia, they settled in Sydney and both learnt English. Max was required to study medicine again, as his qualifications weren't recognised here. After another long 5 years, he was able to practice and opened up his own medical centre. My father had always wanted to record Max's story, and in 1992, that is what he did. In 2004, just 4 years after Max had passed away, my dad wrote a play dedicated to Max. He named it The Lucky One, and it was performed at NIDA. It was based on the very conversations my dad had with Max back in 1992. I'm extremely grateful for my father documenting Max's experience because it means I'm able to hear his voice and learn about his story from the man himself. So, what effect does knowing Max's story have on me now in 2017? Even though I didn't get to know Max personally, having access to his story has allowed me to find my strength, resilience, courage, perseverance, and determination. After being able to first-hand experience him telling his story and knowing what he went through, it has made me realize that I can do and overcome anything.
I was the lucky one.